In the heart of Africa, where ancient empires thrived, one man changed the fate of a nation forever. He was not just a king, he was a warrior, a visionary, and a symbol of African resistance. This is the story of Emperor Menelik II, the Ethiopian ruler who stood against European colonization and led his nation to an unforgettable victory at the Battle of Adwa. How did he rise to power? What was his strategy against colonial forces? And how did his reign shape Ethiopia's future? Join us as we uncover the incredible journey of one of Africa's greatest leaders. Menelik II was born as Sehal Mariam on August 17, 1844, in Ankaba, Shua. His father, King Haile Melekot of Shua, was a powerful ruler, and young Menelik was groomed to inherit the throne. However, fate took an unexpected turn when Sehal Mariam was just 11 years old. The political landscape of Ethiopia was shifting dramatically. In 1855, a powerful and ambitious ruler, Kassa Haile, crowned himself as Emperor Tewodros II, determined to reunify and centralize Ethiopia under one imperial crown. At that time, Sehal Mariam's father, King Haile Melekot, ruled the kingdom of Shua, semi-autonomous and influential region. But Tewodros saw regional rulers like him as obstacles to unity. In his campaign to consolidate power, he marched on Shua. King Haile Melekot died shortly after Tewodros's invasion, leaving young Sehal Mariam as heir. The child prince was soon captured and taken to Tewodros's mountain fortress at Magdala. Menelik wasn't treated like an ordinary prisoner. He was raised in the imperial court, where Tewodros hoped to groom him into a loyal vassal who could later rule Shua under his authority. Military strategy and diplomacy by observing court affairs, Amharic and Ge'ez literature, church teachings, and governance. He built alliances and quietly won over sympathizers, laying the groundwork for his eventual return. Though, technically, a guest, Menelik was not free to leave. He was closely watched, and over time, he understood that Tewodros had no real intention of giving him power. By 1865, Emperor Tewodros' power was starting to erode. His authoritarian style had alienated many nobles, and he faced rebellion from within his empire. At the same time, Menelik saw his chance. Under the guise of illness, Menelik convinced the court he needed rest and isolation. With the help of loyal Shuhan allies and sympathetic guards, he slipped away in the night, escaping from the fortress of Magdala, one of the most secure fortresses in Ethiopia at the time. It was a bold, dangerous journey. He had to cross hostile territories and avoid imperial patrols, but after weeks of stealth and speed, he made it back to Shua, where he was hailed as the rightful heir. Once home, he quickly reasserted control, and by 1866, he was crowned King of Shua for the next 2 decades. He expanded Shua's influence, gaining power, wealth, and allies until the time came for him to claim the Ethiopian throne. His escape wasn't just a return to power. It was the beginning of his rise to the imperial throne. After the death of Emperor Johannes IV in 1889, Menelik was crowned as Emperor of Ethiopia, with his wife Taitu Betel as Empress. He immediately set out to unite Ethiopia and modernize the kingdom, expanded Ethiopia's borders to nearly its modern size, introduced modern weapons, and trained the military, established Addis Ababa as the capital in 1889, built roads, schools, and hospitals, ushering in modernization. But his greatest challenge would come from a growing European power, Italy. In 1889, Menelik signed the Treaty of Wuchale with Italy, believing it was a friendship agreement. However, the Italian version of the treaty falsely claimed Ethiopia was an Italian protectorate. Menelik rejected Italy's claim, and war broke out. Italy, armed with modern European weaponry, underestimated Menelik and invaded Ethiopia in 1895. In response, Menelik mobilized over 100,000 Ethiopian warriors, including troops from all over the empire. Ethiopian forces, 100,000 plus soldiers, including Oromo, Amhara, Tigrayan, and other ethnic groups. Italian forces, 17,000 soldiers, equipped with modern rifles and artillery. Menelik's forces used superior terrain knowledge and battle strategy. The Italians, expecting an easy victory, were outnumbered and outmaneuvered. Ethiopian warriors crushed the Italian forces in one day, marking a historic African victory against European colonization. The victory at Adwa had global impact. Ethiopia remained independent, inspiring African nations. European powers recognized Ethiopian sovereignty. Italy was forced to sign a peace treaty, acknowledging Ethiopia's freedom. Menelik's reforms and modernization after Adwa. Menelik focused on building Ethiopia's future, constructed railways and telegraph lines, established modern government institutions, expanded international relations, including ties with Russia, France, and Britain. However, his health began to decline, and by 1909, Empress Taito Betel took over state affairs. In 1909, Menelik suffered a massive stroke, leaving him partially paralyzed. In 1913, after 4 years of illness, he passed away at the age of 69. He was buried in Addis Ababa, and his influence continued through his successors. Even after his death, Menelik's legacy lives on. He preserved Ethiopia's independence, making it the only African nation never colonized. He modernized Ethiopia, laying the foundations for future development. He inspired the Pan-African movement, proving that Africans could defeat European colonizers. From a young prince in captivity to the warrior king who humiliated a European empire, Menelik, the second story is one of resilience, strategy, and national pride. But history is full of complexities. Was he Ethiopia's greatest ruler, or were there mistakes in his reign? And if you any recommend or suggestion about our next video, let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you are still watching it, that means you like my video. Please make sure to share with others too, and don't forget to subscribe to Tales of Ethiopia for more Ethiopia's untold history. Until next time, thank you for watching Tales of Ethiopia, where history comes to life.